everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for every time I upload some new content. And today we're doing another story time video. This video is, well, this topic is actually it's not pretty much new, but it did happen this year. It did happen at my Amazon driving job. It was not one of my my coworkers. It was not my employer. It was literally when I was on delivery. So if sexual harassment or anything triggers you, I would definitely click off this video. Okay? All right. So, this is a time when I was sexually harassed at my job, or attempted sexual harassment at my job. So let's give it a timeline. Well, I mean, it's not pretty much a timeline. This is kind of going to be like a really short story. But it did happen this year. And it's basically one of the reasons, technically, why I quit my Amazon driving job. If you guys want a separate video on what it's like to be a driver for Amazon, let's get the video to 10 likes. And I'll explain or talk about what it was like to be a driver for Amazon, because whew, it's not an easy job. But anyways, this happened, when did I quit? I officially quit in August, because that's when I started my commission-based job. So I wasn't doing my regular route that day. So usually if you're a driver, well, I'm not sure for other companies, but I know for my particular company, if you do well on a certain route, they'll pretty much give it to you like all the time. And so I was usually in very big homes, like $500,000 home to $1 million homes in Virginia. Like, I was in very big homes. I never really went to apartments besides like when I first started, so they can test to see how fast I was in certain areas. But other than that, I was always in this particular neighborhood. So on this particular day, I guess one of my coworkers didn't show up, or they showed up late. So with my company, if you show up late to clock in for your shift, your route will be given away to somebody else. So this particular route had a lot of like businesses, so that route had to be taken care of. So I guess they just decided to give it to me that day. So it was a lot of businesses. It wasn't a lot of residential until probably like towards the end of my route per se, but it was mostly like really big buildings and business buildings. So I'm going about my route. I don't know this route at all. I didn't even know this area at all. I never delivered in this area before. So it was very, very difficult for me to like navigate to where I was going. And like a lot of the places that I was delivering to, like when it like showed on like my map on the phone, it would show like a row of like warehouse buildings. So I would have to like really pay attention to the building number and not the pin that the app was telling me to go to. So on this day, it was also raining. So it was probably close to about 5 or no, yeah, between like 4 or 5. Now around this time, if I was on my regular route, I would probably be like almost finished. But like I said, because I had so many businesses to deliver to, that took up a lot of my time, because I would have to like actually go physically into the building and go up to the floor that particular business was on, and let and have the receptionist basically kind of sign for it. So I was pretty much at the end of my businesses that I was going to. So for this particular business building, because it was almost 4 or 5 o'clock, like most of the employees were already gone for the day. So I was delivering, I think it was like a computer, like it was in a computer box, but I'm not sure if it was like a monitor or like a laptop or something, but it was something computer based because I remember the box. It was like a Dell box. And so the company name, like, you know, when you walk into like businesses, buildings, they'll have like a little dictionary or whatever the thing is called to tell you where the business is in the building, or what floor or what room it is in the building. So I didn't see it on like the little dictionary thing, and so I was going to just go up the elevator and go up to the next floor to see if that business was on that floor. So as I'm like pressing the button to go up the elevator, this janitory man was basically, he was like basically watching me, and he knew that the elevator was not working or whatever. So he literally watched me like, you know, stand in the elevator with the door open, just pressing, you know, the buttons so like the doors can close and yada yada yada. So he then approached me and he was just like, well, who are you looking for, and da 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 da. And I told him the person's like last name, and so he was like, oh, they're on the second floor, I can show you where they are. And I was just like, okay, cool. So he had took me upstairs, but then like, because he was like a custodian, or that what I thought he was, like someone who worked in the building, he took me upstairs, but then he had walked off to the side or something, and I was just like, okay, well, I'll just try to probably figure it out on my own. So I went down like one hallway, and it was some guys in like suits and stuff, and I was just like, hey, is anyone here with the name of blah blah blah? And they was like, no, I think they are like around the corner. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. So I left out their room, went around the corner, and then the custodian guy had like caught up with me, and I was like, yeah, someone told me where it was, so I'm gonna just go check the room around the corner. So I checked around the room around the corner. It was the right room, but no one was there. Or I think it was the right room, because in this particular building, it didn't have any of the numbers like next to the doors for whatever reason. And so I was just like, oh, they told me it was around the corner, but this don't seem like it's it. And so when I looked on my my cell phone to see where it should be, the phone was telling me that it should be in like, I think 201B or something like that. And so the custodian guy was like, oh, that's around the corner. And so he was like taking me around the corner to try to show me where the room was. So we went into like this little cutoff part. It's kind of hard to explain. So let's say this is like the main hallway of the building, and then there was like another like hallway leading to like 2 or 3 other rooms on the side. So this area was like completely, pretty much almost dark. Like it was like a little light in the hallway, and then the rooms were either closed and the doors were locked or dark. So this particular room that the man was telling me was the correct room, it was like a it was some, I don't want to say religious, but it was kind of religious, but like a religious like kickboxing class or something like that. And so like we went in the room, and it was completely dark, and they had like a whole bunch of like kickboxing stuff around the room. And I was just like, so is this the right room? Is someone here? And then he was just like, well, what's the name? And so like, I don't know if this man was racist or not, but because the name kind of matched like the religion of the room or whatever, or the decor in the room, he assumed that it was this room. So I was just like, well, I just can't leave it here. I need to physically hand it to somebody because that's my job. I'm supposed to either hand it to somebody, or if it's like a business, I need someone to sign for it. And so I can have proof that I delivered it, and I just didn't want to deliver it into a empty room. You feel me? So I was like, yeah, I just can't leave it here. So if no one's here, well, I just gotta take it back to the station. So as I was about to leave out the room, this man, this little midget, this little fucker had the audacity to touch me. He tried to grab my arm. Like I said, it was raining outside, so I had my hoodie on, I had my locks all tied back, and I was literally like, you know, all bundled up with a box in my hand, a heavy ass box in my hand. I'm just like, okay. And so he tried to like grab my arm and like went like this, and I was just like, and I hit him with the box. I hit him with the box, and like I kind of ran out because, like I said, the box was like a laptop or something, so it wasn't too heavy, but it was kind of big at the same time. So like I hit him with the box, I ran downstairs as fast as I could, and as I got outside, I had saw one of the guys that I saw earlier that was wearing suits, and he was like, are you okay? And I was just like, no, some like janitorial man just tried to like sexually harass me. So I got in my van and I just drove off. Now at this point, I am like hysterical. I'm like, some midget man just tried to touch me and yada yada yada. So I'm calling my dispatcher and I'm telling him what had happened, and he was like, well, go back and call the police. And I was just like, bruh, like I'm almost done my route, can I just finish my route? And he was like, no, because if someone else had to go to that building, and if that man is there, he needs to suffer the consequences. Because what if it's another female? What if one of your co-workers that, you know, may run into that same person? And I was like, okay, cool. So turned around, went back to the building, and the guy that I had saw when I was leaving out, he was still outside smoking a cigarette. And so I was just like, hey, do you know what that janitorial guy name is? And he was like, what janitor guy? And I was just like, oh, it's some short man, looked Middle Eastern or whatever, and he was walking around kind of sort of in a janitorial, some type of custodial shirt or whatever. And he was like, the janitorial staff don't get here until 6 o'clock. Mind you, like I said, this was between like 4 and 5. So he was like, yeah, the janitorial staff don't get here until about 6 o'clock, because that's when we leave. And I was just like, pardon? Excuse me? So you don't have any janitorial staff working here? And he was like, no, like, and I was trying to tell you that, but you was leaving so fast out your, you was leaving so fast to get into your van. And I was just like, so do you guys know who's in the building right now? He was like, yeah, it's just our company. Why? And I was just like, there is a man walking around. He was trying to fill up on me. So at this point, I'm texting my dispatcher and telling him what was going on. And he was like, yeah, just go ahead and call the cops. So I called the cops. Me and the guy that worked for one of the companies, we were going around the building, like trying to look for this man. And I was just like, did you see anyone else walk out while you was smoking a cigarette? And I was just like, well, I did walk off to my car for a second, so it could have been like a chance that someone did walk out when I went to my car. And I was just like, oh my god. And so so they were having a lot of electricity work being done to the building, and that's why the elevator didn't work. So because the elevator was attached to their camera security system, their security system was down. So like they couldn't even pull up any of the tapes to verify this man to see if he even worked at the building. So when the guy had told me that, I was basically, just telling my dispatchers, and the police had showed up at that point. I was telling them everything, and the guy was telling them everything as well. So because their security system was down and everything like that, it was pretty much nothing that the police officers could do besides take a description of the man that had tried to assault me. So I described the man and everything like that. And yeah, that was pretty much it. After I had gave them the description, the police said the only thing that they could do was just patrol the area to see if anyone was matching that description, because the guy that was working there, he had pointed out all the cars, and all the cars there was like his co-workers' cars. So like, because it was a big like business area, the man could have parked his car anywhere, or he could have been someone that was commuting by foot or by public transportation, or even Uber at that point. So at this point, I'm like a nervous wreck and stuff, but I still had to like finish my route. So I was finishing up my route. The owner of the logistics company, which is the driver side of Amazon, because Amazon drivers don't technically work for Amazon, they work for a third party. So the guy that was the owner of the company that I worked for, he called me. Well, I called him and I told him what happened, and and that I was just shooken up. Like, I mean, I was shooken up to the point where I couldn't really focus on work, but I know I had to finish my work, if that kind of makes sense. And he was just like, well, once you get back to the station, just do an incident report through Amazon and blase. And so they can, I guess, pretty much take that building off their like delivery list or whatever. So yeah. But yeah, that is the time where I was almost sexually assaulted at work. With like those type of delivery jobs, they try to tell us not to have any weapons on us. But after that incident, I think I was working there for maybe another week and a half, and I always kept a taser on me, because no, baby, no one's not gonna touch me again, period. Kept that thing on me, right in my vest. I was not playing, period. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are not already. If you had a situation like that before, no, don't comment in the comment section, because some people are very sensitive about sexual harassment and stuff like that. But do give this video a thumbs up if you want to know what it's really like to be an Amazon driver. And yeah, as always, I love you guys, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.